Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, audience discretion is advised.
Welcome to Travelers on the Omnibus, a field trip through nerd and pop culture. I'm Jody Kite.
I'm Ethan Skinner.
Stocks are up. My name is James McCarthy.
And I'm Brady Davis.
Welcome to Stock Exchange. I'm kidding.
No, we're doing this for the rest of the goddamn show.
we're doing-
Stocks are
goddamn it,
down.
the first
They're
half.
down. They're crashing.
I don't know how long I can keep that bit going, even for the first 5 minutes.
But what do you mean?
It's just going to eventually devolve into David Lynch.
Yeah, that's true. It always
the
does.
weather outside is nice, and the number is 11. Yeah.
Ethan.
Eraserhead is my most spiritual movie. Explain. Could you go into detail with that?
No.
No.
The studios wouldn't let me have final cut on
At least
Dune.
it wasn't Mulholland Drive.
Oh, God.
Never watched.
Speaking
that
of
movie again.
Mulholland Drive, Ethan, what have you been up to?
The rest of every day except for today, it's just kind of like been meh. It's just a lot of work stuff.
Welcome to adulthood.
Yeah. Today,
How would your wife like to hear that? Every day's just been like,
Yeah.
I mean,
She may be enjoying that as well. Maybe she's making apple fritters in her spare time.
there you go, apple fritters.
she's just been playing Fortnite and Minecraft. That's all she's been doing.
What if they had an event called Fritter Night in Fortnite, where the winning person gets an apple fritter instead of
What's it called?
Victory Royale.
5 fritters at Fortnite.
I'll play Fortnite for an apple fritter.
5 Nights at Fritters.
Yeah.
The horror version.
I want apple fritters. They don't even have to be apple.
Or Fritter Nights at Freddy's.
All right, cool. That's Ethan. Jay, what have you been up to?
No, I got with a couple of coworkers and we had lunch today.
Wow.
And-
I didn't know you were in those kind of parties.
No. As the only voice for Bianca in this room right now, I'm not letting that be a thing that exists.
Yeah, no. But no, they recommended a Mexican restaurant over in Diablo, Monterrey.
Monterrey.
Yeah.
It's like right next to the Academy, the Outback Steakhouse over there.
Gotcha.
And we go in there.
Was it in that same shopping center where Twin Peaks?
Yes, it's like immediately on the left hand side of it.
Okay,
Gotcha.
yeah, I've ate there before. It must have changed its name. I swear it was
It
something
used to
else.
be El Rancho.
Yeah.
but now it's
I've eaten there as the El Rancho.
I've been there as El Rancho.
I did not get to eat at the ranch.
Yes.
Continue on.
food is actually pretty good. And we get in there like we get our drinks and whatnot. We're cracking jokes. We're shooting shit. And then all of a sudden, the waiter comes by us with our drinks on a platter with a firework going off. And just go, the birthday girl. And it was none of our birthdays.
You weren't the birthday girl.
I was not the birthday girl. And we're like, okay, thank you. We had to wait a whole 5 minutes for the firework to like stop before we could like get our drinks off of this like wooden platter. And we finally get our drinks.
I like the combination of fireworks and wood.
Hang on. And we're still talking and enjoying ourselves. And all of a sudden the waiters come. There's multiple of them now. They come back with sombreros and they put them on our heads. Like,
you get a whole experience.
The birthday girl. Again, it's none of our birthdays. And
Are there
know where
any
this is
girls at
going.
your table?
Yes, there was one.
There's one.
I think I know
And-
where this is
and
going.
Okay.
It was not her birthday.
Sure.
either. And we're all standing. We're looking at this in this comically large sombrero that all of us are wearing. And we're like, okay, one of us is getting whipped cream smeared in our faces.
Oh,
we
baby.
don't know who yet. And as soon as I said that, they started to bring our food out. One of my friend, they got fajitas. It's like sizzling.
Yeah, you don't want that smeared in your face.
The guy lights it on fire.
Lights the fajitas on
and
fire.
Places it in front of them as they're wearing a raggedy straw sombrero, and I'm thinking, My friend is about to burst into flames.
Welcome to the spontaneous portion.
We eat our
your
food.
meal.
We don't take the sombreros off because we don't want to ruin this 10 out of 10 experience.
Well, yeah, of course.
And
why would you stop this?
we're anticipating just a
Death?
group of people coming around like singing happy birthday. We're waiting for the cinnamon tortillas. It doesn't come.
Oh.
It's like, where's the birthday accoutrements? Where are they? And they just bring us our bills. Like, okay, have a good day. I'm like, okay, I'll leave the hat here. And we leave. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah, of
Is
course.
it your birthday? No, but damn it, they'll make
could be.
They'll make you feel like
Did
it's
you
your birthday.
pay for somebody else's birthday? That's my question.
We don't know, and we didn't bother to ask.
There had to have been like somebody who knew you from work or something.
No, I didn't recognize
that
anybody.
was meant for another table.
That's what we think, but we didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, why would you want to stop that?
Yeah, no.
See, I have a different take on that. I think another table set y'all up just to laugh at that shit. That's
be.
me.
Could be. Or
What my theory was that we were the only table in there at the time, and they were like, "Hey, it's boring in
let's
here.
have
Let's have
fun."
some fun.
Yeah.
let's screw
Yeah.
with these
or
people."
like, 99% of the time when like somebody's got a birthday in one of those restaurants and they're known for doing something like that, they don't want anybody to know. So it could be that the birthday girl's like, I ain't saying shit. I don't want any of this attention.
I don't know. I don't want to answers to anything, but damn it, I'm going to go back to there.
It's a very
pretty good food. It's actually
very
pretty
very
good food.
cool. I don't think you're going to top that parallel experience
No.
with anything else at that place.
And then immediately after eating lunch, I went to go see Weapons
Oh.
in theaters.
Yeah.
I've heard two very different reviews.
I'm sure you have.
And my personal review is leaning towards the rest of this table's review.
Yeah.
I do have one comment that is not going to spoil anything
All right.
in the movie.
We'll be the judge of that.
Go ahead.
Why are people leaving their doors unlocked?
Because it's
Like,
suburbia.
why?
Because it's
Like
it's suburbs.
Like
Maybe.
they could have cut like a good 10 minutes if one person locked the door. That's it.
Well, there was one house with locked doors, and then the door got unlocked.
Yeah.
and opened. There you go.
But
Yeah. It's,
All right, you're good. Come on back.
I love the movie. I
For
loved it.
Anybody else listening, I took my headphones off because I haven't seen it yet.
yeah.
Just in case.
I love the movie.
I'm just gonna go ahead and piggyback because
Yeah, y'all piggyback
I
off
really
of
don't
your
think there's any point in
yeah.
like hearing this 3 times. But yeah,
Yeah.
Weapons is very very good. Everybody really knocks it out of the park. There's some genuine like butt clenching moments.
It
The
definitely-
jump scares are not egregious. I feel like
warranted.
I feel like they are.
They are well timed.
They're well timed and they're not like
Krieger's sense of pacing is amazing.
yeah.
It just is.
This is the same person that did
Barbarian.
Barbarians.
And was a member of the whitest kids you know.
Yeah, like I said, everybody really does really good. The main kid in this is a really good child actor. Yeah, it's an interesting story. I really like the way that the story is told. I think is very interesting. I think there's a good possibility that if this wouldn't have been told like that, then it would have been a boring movie. But this, like, I think keeps it. There was some. I know I have seen some complaints about how the movie is very, very dark. The movie is very dark, but in my theater, I never had a problem with that. It was everything. It was dark, but I could always like tell what was going on.
I think a lot of those were projection issues, and I think just
Yeah.
a lot. I think a lot of it, the projectors have been turned down because a lot of the movies going on right now, like Jurassic, the newest Jurassic World, Marvel, Fantastic Four, Superman. Those
Yeah.
are all very bright, colorful movies, and so I think they turned them down for that, just so they don't like blow everybody out. And so when it's time to put weapons on, it gets that darkness to it.
Yeah, but
My review is very simple and also doesn't spoil anything. I bought the poster. Right now, it's been just under a week. This is my favorite horror movie of all time.
oh damn.
And yeah, that is. I think there's still some sprinkling of hyperbole there, but we're about a week out from it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's everything I had hoped for in
Yeah,
the movie.
I like all the characters are very complex. They're all a little bit pieces of shit. They're all-
Yeah.
like every one of them, you're like, oh, why are you making that decision? Oh, that's a bad decision. Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that, please.
Yeah.
The sound design for the movie was handled by Philippe Massader, who is credited as a re-recording mixer and sound designer. Additionally, James Peterson is also credited with sound work on this film. The music for the film was composed by Ryan Holiday, Hayes Holiday, and Zach Krager. This, outside of movies that have the word Star Wars in the title, this is the best sound design I've heard in a movie in my life.
It's really good. It's really,
They
really
know
good.
when to cut the music. They know when to cut the music. They know when to be loud. They know when to be quiet. Everything in that regard is pitch perfect.
Right.
Just absolutely
So
incredible.
what you're saying is like whenever it comes to streaming or whatever, wear headphones or have a good sound
No,
system.
just like a good sound system in the room will be enough. I think if I had headphones on and like had a pump there, I think it's just directed too much at me. The sound needs to go out, and
Right.
you need to be in you. The sound doesn't need to be going in your ear. You need to
Sure.
be in the sound.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you don't
Like,
have like a decent
Feel
sound
it,
system.
Feel it with your body.
Yeah, if you don't have a decent sound system, though, headphones are like the next best thing. If you don't have if your TV is just like all you got, you're not going to get a. Anyway.
Yeah.
What about anything else, Ethan?
Nope. That's
Jay, what
that's
about you? What
literally
else?
me.
Okay. So I saw Julia Garner's second best movie of the year, Fantastic Four: The First Steps, which I know Wolfman also happened this year, but
I heard that one was not very good.
Yeah, that one had some of the similar problems with weapons in regarding to projection and light. It's very hard to see in that movie.
But I heard Julia Garner was very good in the movie.
Things people should just know just by hearing
Yeah,
the name.
yeah.
There
Right,
you go.
right,
There you
right.
go, right there. But this was good. It was not. It has all of your Marvel tropes of
Sure.
the world's about to end and
Yeah.
everything like that, but it felt grounded and down to earth. I love the family aspect of it. This is the first, to me, legitimate movie where they have treated the Fantastic Four like a family and not as a super team.
Right.
And it just worked absolutely. The scene after the end that properly ends the movie is fantastic in that regard and thematic with that. I won't go more on that if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Everybody top that's another top down one where I think they did a really good job. I really love he's three names and his last one's Hauser.
Paul Walter Hauser.
Paul Walter Hauser. He plays Mole Man, and I like that's one of my least favorite villains.
Sure.
Not for all of the despicable. No, it's like he always feels throwaway to me, except
Yeah.
for like the very early Fantastic
Right.
Four stories, and it was great. It was great seeing him as like. It's like he hates everybody in the Fantastic Four except Sue, and Sue he respects.
Right.
It's like he's razzing all of them. It's like because she calls him by name too, which I think is like, it goes, Sue, what do you need? And that's basically all he asks her about it. It's great. It's
Yeah.
fucking great. Yeah. So I definitely that is not obviously with weapons highest recommendation. Superman got my highest. After Superman, I didn't think there was going to be a movie this year that was going to come close to it.
Right.
It's a 2-horse race for my movie of the year right now.
Right.
With not a whole lot of time and not a whole lot of prospects to really kind of fit in.
Yeah, we're
third
getting
spot there.
wrapping it up.
But Fantastic Four was definitely a fun watch. I enjoyed being able to sit back and watch that in the theater. I'm appreciating going to the theater. There was only like 5 people in there, but it was like me and it was like a family of 4, like legitimately. Like it was
Gotcha.
like a mom and like 3 kids, and they were just watching them, and they were respectful through the whole thing. They were
Yeah.
quiet. It was like, man, good. I hope y'all had fun with me. Like, I did.
Let me ask you a question about weapons, and it's not going to spoil anything. During the ending, how was your? And you might not. I think I was in a more full theater than you were. How were people reacting to the ending? The thing that led to the
Your question won't. My answer will. So I will table my response until we can review it fully one day. And I would like to do an episode reviewing this movie because of how good it was.
Okay.
So we'll talk off mic
Sure.
and away from his ears.
Yeah.
So,
I'll also join in that conversation.
Yeah.
I can say I liked it, but I mean, if that's a spoiler now, it's like, oh God, you've revealed the whole movie. But yeah, I liked it. And as far as the response goes, it was a positive response.
Yeah.
What I think, this movie is polarizing
Yeah.
because, And no, this movie is polarizing.
Yeah.
When all four of us can talk about this,
Yeah.
because I feel just even a discussion of the theory behind that to me is going to spoil
Sure.
what part of what makes this movie so good.
Right.
So yeah, I will belay comment on that because I do believe I'll spoil it for Jody and anybody else who hasn't seen this yet.
Okay.
Go out and see this movie, just please.
What else have you been up
So
to?
I've also
Jay?
been up to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. It was on a deep discount on the Switch 2, which is exactly where I wanted to play it because my first experience with Tony Hawk was Tony Hawk 3 on the GameCube. So this is very low. And I'm about to pick up 3 and 4 because I went to, I didn't even know this was going on. I ordered food from Taco Bell and I got in-game items for Tony Hawk 3 and 4. I got a Taco Bell
I want
deck.
3 and 4.
I got
Nice.
a Taco Bell deck and I got a Taco Bell puffy jacket that
Hell
my character
yeah.
can wear.
Hell yeah.
And so
Yeah.
the best game of all time, Tony
You gotta
Hawk
be
3 and
wearing
4.
your Taco Bell jacket when you're collecting VHS tapes.
Yeah, when you're collecting.
The
Baja Blast.
3 was the first one that I ever owned, but it wasn't the first one I played. And I played it on the GameCube as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
finished. I'm almost finished with the Hawk 1 run, and I'm about to start Hawk 2. I like the way they divvied that up. They kind
Yeah.
of you can just kind of float
Sure.
between both games. It's
Yeah.
very, unlike Suikoden, which I hate harping on because I came in with such
Sure.
joy, but Suikoden, like you have to pick the game,
Yeah.
and then it loads, and then you have to watch the cutscene, and it's like okay.
There's a lot going on there.
But no, if like you want to like go from a park in Hawk 2 back to Hawk 1,
Yeah.
boom, it's very simple, very easy. It's all handled in the same screen. It's very nice. So I give a recommendation to Tony Hawk 1 and 2.
Yeah, I played it. I've got it on PlayStation.
Especially
Yeah.
now because I got the full version with all the DLC for like $15.
Yeah.
So that was like thank you very much, Nintendo Switch. I want to give a shout out real quick. This is kind of an answer going off the weapon stuff. I want to because we've shit on them a good bit during the podcast throughout the 4 years of the podcast. Warner Brothers did right this year. Like they legitimately did right this, and it's not so much the choices they made this year.
Yeah.
It's the choices building up to this year, giving James Gunn run of the DCU.
Well, they got smart especially after that Suicide Squad movie.
smart and also desperate.
Well, those
they
things can go hand in hand.
But they were able to focus while being desperate.
Right.
Which you said that. But between weapons, between Superman, Sinners. There's another movie that I can't put in my head. But the upcoming Peacemaker season 2 that's coming out.
Right.
Warner Brothers has made some good decisions recently that have paid off this year, and I just want to give them some credit.
I want to say one thing that might be a show topic at some point in the future, even though our negative topics typically don't do very well, and that is an idea I had because of the way that these corporations have been running our entertainment over the past, I'd say 4 to 5 years, and that is that just to remind people that are listening, that are fans of things, that corporations like Disney, which is a corporation, and Warner Brothers, and thankfully this year they got smarter, do not care about culture and art, and the only legacy they care about is the ones they can brand and try to make money off of. So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll turn around and realize that they don't make money off of shit, even if it's got a name attached to it. So
There was a Forbes article recently that I was reading, and they're calling this year the start of the quote unquote profit era for streaming because this is the first year since not just Netflix, but everything has kind of been in play.
Yeah.
Netflix is number one by leaps.
Sure.
Disney Plus is pulling a profit. HBO Max is pulling a profit.
Yeah.
And Paramount Plus is pulling a profit. The only
Right.
one that isn't pulling a profit yet is Peacock, but that was about this is about like halfway through the year. They've everyone else has made their profits for the year. Peacock hasn't had that happen yet.
Yeah.
But it is possible that by the end of the year they will also show profit. So this is you're finally starting to see where there's enough money in the ecosystem where hopefully it's not just about we have to stick hooks in these linchpins because that's the only thing making us money.
Yeah.
And hopes that they can then start and like experimenting again the way Netflix was originally with stuff like Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things, things like that. Here's hoping.
right.
But Jody and I had a ride in a car, and as far as people creating streaming platforms and my nihilism about it is at an all-time high. I won't go into that because that would just be a 40-hour conversation in and of itself.
I will say one thing, and I don't want to like go on it too long because we got other things to talk about. But Netflix's like whole like thing about turning the corner for themselves, even though they were pretty much the only name in the game. Is they started having to work on original programming, not because it was cheaper than it was to acquire other properties at the time, because nobody had a platform for it, which is partial the case. But the main case was when Starz pulled out. And when Starz pulled out because they wanted to start their own streaming service, which has failed miserably, and they will never make any money, they pulled 1,000 titles off of Netflix. Netflix at that point had 3,000, 4,000. They had almost every movie they had that you could rent on DVD through them on their streaming platform. They lost Starz, and they saw the writing on the wall, and they started hardcore trying to figure out how to make some original programming. So they did that out of desperation. That was like starting probably like 8 or so years ago or whatever. But they finally they also didn't turn a profit for the first 4 or 5 years of the streaming platform as well. But so anyway, what else you got, Jay?
So let's see. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks,
Brady.
but it hasn't been a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, besides watching Weapons, I started a new book. It is the sequel to A Memory Called Empire by Arkady Martin.
Desolation Called Peace.
A Desolation Called Peace. I'm a little less than halfway through it by now. It's really, really good. I am liking it just about as much as the first one. This one is very interesting. It only takes place like 3 months after the last book ends, which I kind of felt like it was going to be more. And it's them kind of dealing with this the Empire kind of dealing with this kind of alien threat, and the characters from the first book get kind of pulled into that. I really like that this one. So the first book, almost entirely, except for I think the interludes and maybe the introduction and maybe once or twice in another place, pretty much was from the ambassador from the space station, Mahit. It was in her perspective like the entire time, and in this one it shifts perspectives. Which I think is really interesting because it's letting you, because you only saw from her point of view, or at least mostly saw from her point of view. And her point of view as somebody trying to keep her station from being absorbed by this empire, her way of looking at things is different than say, most of the people are from the empire, the Tex Kalani Empire. And I figured out how to say it because at the end of this one, there is a pronunciation guide. So it's interesting seeing their, and there's still a whole lot of like political intrigue and stuff in this. So it's very interesting while they're in kind of the middle of this war, that is kind of a war right now. It's interesting. I'm liking it. As long as she like brings it, the author kind of brings it home. I think this one will be just as good as the first one. But I think this is like her first and second. Like Memory Called Empire was her first book, and this is her second book. Like these are like really strong. Fuck, you know what I'm saying. Jesus, that's really, really good. So I would say start with the first one if you like the space opera political intrigue stuff. And this one, I think, so far is worthy. I will give when I finish it, I'll kind of give a final review of it. Not really a review, just tell you if I thought it was good or not. But excuse me, yeah. And then yesterday, a couple months ago, I backed it was on Backer Kid, and it was like the ultimate edition for Liminal Horror as an RPG. It's an OSR, old school revival. It's based off of the Cairn or Into the Odd system, so it's a very stripped down system. Also, Mouse Ritter uses the same system. Kind
Karen's on Amazon for like less than $10, by the way.
Yeah, the newer there's two. There's a player guide and then there's a GM guide.
And they're both like around
about
10
six.
yeah.
less than $10.
Yeah.
They're because they got them on there for print on demand. Print on demand.
Yeah.
So you order it and then they'll send it to you. I have the first book. I still need to get the second.
I'm gonna get both of them
because the new players guide. I have the original Karen book. This one is like so much better.
Oh, I'm sure.
So and I think the GM's guide will be just as good.
Right.
But yeah, so Liminal Horror is about you are investigators and it's kind of like cosmic horror type stuff, X-Files type stuff.
Yeah, I'm sold already.
So what I got yesterday I got the PDF files for the old stuff, like just the stuff that's already been released, not any of the new stuff.
Yeah.
I think the new stuff is coming in a little while, taking a little bit longer. But it just finished like not very long ago.
Right.
I think I paid shipping like last month, maybe the beginning of this month. I can't remember, but a lot of the stuff I already had. I either already had it or I have the book. I just didn't have the PDF for it. But one of the things that really stuck out to me was there's a one of the things was called Case Files 1, and it is basically like a whole bunch of one shots with also some other like kind of GM tools and stuff like that. And they're all I didn't look through all of them because there was like 10 or 15. Like there was a lot of them. But I read through like one of them that caught my eye, and it is very interesting. And it's probably one that I'm going to want to like run on here because I think it can be done maybe in one go if we skip everything, but definitely in 2 sessions. I think that we could get that one done. And it's a really interesting. A lot of the stuff that the modules and stuff and adventures that they've done for Liminal Horror is very interesting. And the way they do them is very, very interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. All the stuff that I know that they added to the because I have like the physical copy of I think it's the 2nd edition of it, and I have the PDF for the original version of Liminal. There's like, and now there's this ultimate version where it's like a nice hardcover book, and they added a whole bunch of shit to it.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that, and I will probably begin figuring out like when we can like run that because I think that'll be good. That might be something around October we might can run.
That sounds good.
For 1 or 2 sessions.
Yeah.
Sounds spooky.
I like spooky stuff. Especially when there's sci-fi involved.
Yeah. And it's very similar to the to like creating a character in Mouse Ritter where you just roll on tables. There's way more tables, but you roll on tables to pretty much completely create your character.
That's fine.
So it takes like 5 minutes to create a character.
Yep.
I like rolling on tables.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited about that. That really got me interested. Yeah. So that's me. That's all I got.
All right. So it's my turn.
It would appear so.
Real quick, not really a thing I've been doing, but something that I actually bought. There's a sale on Amazon right now for Magic products.
Oh yeah, I saw that
directly from Wizards. I bought the Modern Horizons 3 Simic deck, which is the everywhere, everything all at once deck, where you play a version of Basuba. And when she does something, you get to put an everything counter on a land or a creature, and the land becomes every land type, and the creature becomes every creature type. So you can like pretty much throw a potluck of dudes in there. Anyway, the deck was $45, and it's $90 everywhere else.
I saw the Final Fantasy decks. I don't know if they're still on there, but they were like $55.
If you get the bundle, you can get the bundle of the 4 for like it's under $200.
Yeah, it was like $189.
So that's.
But
like,
I also saw the individual decks.
I saw
they might have been out. I haven't looked on there in a while.
Some of the individual decks were $50, and then one of them was like $80. So, and the same thing goes for the Modern Horizons 3. Like the Eldrazi deck was like $80 when normally it's $100, $125.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, and this was also directly from Wizards store. So if you're interested in buying the Final Fantasy decks, you can get all 4 of them for around $50 if you get them in the bundle. I don't know about singularly, and maybe some other things. I didn't look too far, but I had a gift card for my birthday that I hadn't used, so it didn't cost me anything. And then, what I've been doing this week, I started a new Minecraft world. Me and Jay still are on the same server, but it's pretty much like dead because the 3 of the people that we were playing with don't play on it at all anymore. And I think me, Jay, and Austin are really the only ones that meander about it every once in a while on it. So I started my own private world, and it was probably the best start I ever had in a Minecraft world ever. I was next to a mountain, and there was visible iron ore and charcoal for days. It's so far I'm having a fun time with it. I every once in a while I'll dip my toes in Minecraft and play it for a couple of months, and then it's one of those games where I step back from it or whatever. And the majority of my time has been playing Diablo 4. And anybody's fans of the show knows we're not really big on Blizzard, but I mean, it was free. It was a free monthly game. I'm like level 35 or something like that as a rogue. Pretty much going down most of the tree with my build and everything like that. Can throw down some like caltrops to keep the enemies in place, and my arrows freeze the enemy, so I'm all about like staggering them. And my friend Phil, he's playing like a barbarian type character, the fighter type or whatever. I can't remember the class exactly. And he's just waylaying the enemies. We tried doing a nightmare dungeon last night for the first time. That's when you get to a certain point, you can make the dungeons harder. We tried that. We got through it. I think I only died once, so that's good. That's super fun. I really enjoy it. The story is really good. I know people were complaining about this game when it came out, but the thing is, I don't have the same experience as that because I didn't play it when it first came out. So any issues that it was having have already been fixed. So for me, it's a new game. And I really, really do love isometric like action games like that. They are my jam when they're done right. And to me, this is done right. I think they go a little bit heavy on the exposition. But I mean, that's like sometimes that's just what they have to do. But there's a point in the game where I'm in a dungeon. I go to a door and there's exposition. Go to another door. There's more exposition. And I'm normally don't skip story in games like this, but I've been skipping like half the story because I just want to fucking hit things with a stick. It does have the same issue at Diablo 3 as far as like gear goes. Is you go to a shop and they're gonna have like something that's like barely better than what you have, but it's gonna be way too much gold, and you'll just find a better drop. So there's almost no point in actually buying anything at the shop, but selling things at the shop and using your money to upgrade other things. I do like the addition of slotted weapons and slotted armor where you can put jewels and stuff, kind of like materia. And improve your gear and things like that. And so, yeah, I'm having a fun time with that. And let's get into Fortnite. So the new season just started recently, like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
There's Power Rangers.
So like the last thing you unlock at level 100 is the green Power Ranger or the white one. What you get both of them, but those are like the 2 main costumes to unlock. But I don't care about any of that. If you played the last season, if you thought they crammed a bunch of ridiculous, overpowered shit to try and balance out shit last season, they started this season with this shit. So they basically they crammed in Halo and Starship Troopers kind of shit in this season, where there's like 5 or 6 spots on the map that is like infested with alien bugs. And if you go into it and like you kill like the boss at it, they drop a bunch of shit, including medallions that let you double jump in Fortnite, which is busted if you get it. Haven't gotten it yet. Rocket launchers, there's like, they just put everything in it already. And it's like so ridiculous. And they've added extra modes to the game as well. Now there's like a blitz mode where you can like basically either die or beat the game in like 15 minutes. It's insane actually. But it's just super frustrating because the window for like skill versus luck does it. As long as you get some of the medallions, if you can like kill an enemy, like not even like one of the alien boss worms or whatever, if you like just so happen to kill a team that has some of these things on them, you're gonna probably run roughshod all over the game or whatever. And since me and Phil have been playing this season, we've got second place. We've got second place 15 times, and we played the game about 20 since the season started. So that's only slightly agitating to me. Speaking of the term roughshod, which is used in wrestling, did you know that just like gaslighting, that comes from a movie from the 30s? All right, so that's me. That's what I've been up to this week. And Jay,
You went some places there.
my ADHD is full gear right now.
You know what's a place I went to today? Monterey Bar and Grill, where I spent $20 to play a prank on somebody.
Oh, nice.
Was it their birthday?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Nice.
No, well, I'm fucking with you. No,
Nice.
I was in the same area as you, but I wasn't there at the same
Man,
time.
that would have been like the Uber.
That would have been so great to like
Yeah.
drop that in there and there. Been awesome.
I would not put it past them though. If I'm sitting at a booth and I just see Jay like peeking behind a bar,
See, I wouldn't do it. I would just like, hey, it's his birthday. Here's my.
Yeah, he wouldn't stay around to watch it.
no, he wouldn't.
No,
He would
but,
have you tell him the story after
Yeah.
the experience.
That way, when you looked around, you could not tell if
Right.
that nobody
Yeah.
was there.
That's how you drive somebody crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of gaslighting, there's a movie called. Anyway, all right, Jay.
It's from the 30s.
Do we have any feedback?
We have no feedback this week, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being passengers on the bus this week. If you'd like to leave feedback on this or any of our previous episodes, travelersontheomnibus at gmail.com. Again, that is travelers, 1L on the omnibus at gmail.com. Jody Kite, where else can they interact with us?
You may interact with us through Spotify.
Yes, take part in any of our polls for this or any of our previous episodes where the polls are still up, and also take part by leaving a comment or two on any of your episodes, favorite or otherwise. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being passengers on the bus. If you'd like to share this with other people who like to listen to podcasts but don't listen to podcasts on the same things that you listen to podcasts on, we're available on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, YouTube Music through our YouTube channel, Travelers on the Omnibus, and iHeartRadio.
Nice. With that being said, if we build it, they will make money.
Brick-a-brack-a firecracker.
So tonight's topic is going to be about. Hey, Ethan, did you know that in the 50s they had 6 different standardized I can't even fucking say standardized train sizes for model trains?
Absolutely not.
They had
Jody.
6.
Please do tell.
6.
How many?
6. No, seriously, we're going to be talking about the history-ish of mostly building toys and construction toys and things of that nature. Of course, we're going to be talking about the biggest one first, which was Lego and is Lego. Lego started before World War II, and Swedish? Is it Swedish? Something. It's over there somewhere.
Yeah, it's Scandinavia.
It's Scandinavia, it's Sweden, something like that. They made tin and wooden toys.
It's Danish.
Yeah,
That's
they,
Scandinavia.
Denmark. Yes.
they eventually started making wooden building blocks and things of that nature. And then World War II happened, and then everything had to go into the ether as far as building supplies goes. And then they started using a newfangled product that people were using to make toys called plastic. Originally, they only had one kind of brick, and they didn't even fit well together. It wasn't until I think the 50s that they had made an actual thing you could build like houses and things like that with their bricks, where they started with the interlocking, like copyrighted or whatever trademarked interlocking brick system that they invented somewhere in the 50s. Might have even been in the 60s where they started the interlocking brick mechanism to where you could actually like build things that were stable, that wouldn't just fall apart. And we're going to stop there for Lego for a second. And then also During the 30s and 40s and 50s, you had Lincoln Logs. I don't know if you guys ever had Lincoln Logs.
I never had. I had several different types of building toys, but I never had Lincoln.
I had Lincoln Logs. Those were kind of semi-popular, but I grew up in the 70s originally. Like I was born in the 70s, but an 80s child.
If you wanted to build something that looked like a log cabin,
You could do it.
Lincoln Logs could do it.
Yeah.
And not much else.
Yeah.
You could build like maybe a fire tower.
You could build a wall
yeah.
ish
that
snaked around.
Yeah.
And if you put 3 more sides on that wall, it would be a log cabin.
And eventually, just like Mr. Potato Head, they eventually added a roof. Mr. Potato Head only had like 3 pieces originally, and it was
Mr.
actually,
Potato Head used to just be the pieces,
you just
and
stick things into
and you had to
potatoes.
get a
Did you know
potato.
that, Ethan?
Do what now?
Mr. Potato Head originally was just a set of accessories that you would put into a potato.
I believe that.
Yeah. Until they came up with the plastic potato part.
Yeah.
But yeah. So also you had Tinker Toys. I don't know if y'all had Tinker Toys.
I had a vast collection of Tinker Toys.
Tinker Toys I did not have either.
Tinker Toys allowed for a little bit more building as far as like with like they would come with like levers, pulleys, like little ratchets.
You can
got
make like a
gears.
windmill.
Yeah.
If you know, later on when they started getting a little bit fancier with it, with the rubber bands and things like that. Originally they didn't have that. Originally it was just like Tinker Toys were basically like 2 different parts. You had like a wooden spiral, a wooden wheel basically that had like a bunch of different holes in it, and then you had sticks that were of different varying sizes that you could put together and make. You know, Ethan's probably looking at Tinker Toys right now.
Never had this.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It was more of a. I think it was a popular toy up until probably the early 80s, maybe, not even that long into it.
I think, and this kind of goes back to them, but I'll use it more of a jumping off point. I think one of the genius things that Lego did, and they might not have even been the first, but they're like the most popular to do it, is, okay, here's a set with all this stuff in it, and here's instructions on how to build a thing.
Right.
And that, and pretty much like everybody else, like I remember I had an erector set.
Yeah, a rector.
I think it was like was it a Ferris wheel that I had? I can't remember. I don't think I ever finished building the thing because it was a very big thing. And it had like a million like little screws and nuts.
There were
and
a
stuff.
lot of things.
And if you lost most of those, like you couldn't build erector sets because it literally came with like a wrench and a little simple wrench and socket system.
It would normally devolve just like Lego sets would for a young child into just like making a mishmash of whatever you wanted to.
And back in the day, that they would just sell sets where it's like, here's just a bunch. Like that was the main set that I had of Legos.
Right.
Was here's this little blue tub that it had 2 little it had 2 sections in it, and there was a big piece of green Lego flat flat ground Lego that you slid on top of both of those, and it just had a whole bunch of shit in it, and you just kind of made whatever. But like I said, like Erector set is one of those that kind of copied that of to where, hey, you can make a Ferris wheel or a car or whatever, and here's how you do it. And that one, it had like motors and shit.
There
in
was
it.
also like there were a lot of knockoffs of Lego, and there still are, but there were also a lot of knockoffs or just inspiration from Erector. Erector inspired a lot of different stuff. There was a really cool construction toy in the early 80s called Robotics. They actually even made like a 12-episode cartoon, of course, because advertising for their own toy. Robotics was cool because it was basically like, think of Erector sets, but there were bigger, chunkier pieces. They were plastic and they were interlocking, and they had motors. So you could make like motorized dinosaurs and things like that, which was really cool. And then they had one, I can't remember the full name of it. It was like Orbs something or another. And you had like the capsule. It was called Capsula or something like that. And there were basically little different like sections of like spheres that you could like reimagine into different items. Capsula, and you could there were tubes and things like that, and it was mostly air powered and things like that. So those were really neat, but none of that stuff really took off. Like Erector, I think because it was Erector and Lego and even Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys were easily mass produced at the time. and they were all easily, manufactured in that way. But just like any other time period, they had to compete with other toys and the like. And Lego really didn't take off until the 80s, and even then, they were kind of meandering about. And like I was saying before off mic, I think I was around 11 or 12 when they actually started doing specific sets, and they were just very generic, like Castle.
Yeah.
There was Castle. There was, I think there was a space set, maybe around that time period. There was definitely a Western themed set as well. Also during the 80s, there was another knockoff brand called Playmobil, which was like less intricate and more big, bulkier things.
Yeah, I think it was geared towards more like younger
It was
children.
preschool stuff.
Yeah.
Duplo was the same way before.
Can't really give a toddler Legos because they will choke on
They
them.
will choke
that's
on
when you
them.
get Mega Blocks.
Yeah,
that's
Meg-
what I had.
Yeah, you gotta
Right.
get Mega Blocks or Playmobil or stuff. Playmobil, I think, was more about like making like
adventure sets.
Yeah, this is like a home, and you got the mom and the dad, and they drive in the car, and here's
They
a
were
bus
a
and
big fan
things
of
like
the Civil War versus the Native American sets.
Yeah.
They liked those a lot for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, before we go into like later on in Lego, does anybody have any other things they want to talk about with like these building toys?
I genuinely don't remember if we mentioned it, but magnetics.
Magnetics.
I love.
That's a later on
magnetics.
thing.
Yeah,
Two
this
thou-
is more
2005.
this is more
Yeah.
in your wheelhouse because
These were magnetics were basically like magnetic versions of Tinker Toys.
yeah.
Is what they were. I remember they were like little
It's
plastic
like
sticks.
little plastic sticks with
with
like magnets
magnets,
on the end.
yeah.
and you had
Yeah.
like the little magnetic
spheres.
balls that you
Right.
could like connect and
Yeah.
kind of like look like joints almost.
And I remember the problem with those was the problem with the erector sets were made. Yep.
Yeah.
Erector sets were made out of like sharp-ish metal objects where people
Yeah.
could get cut. That's nothing compared to magnetics, where people where small children were swallowing the magnets.
Yeah, because
And-
it come out of
yeah.
the little
And
sticks.
they came out of the little things or whatever, and like the magnets would like magnetize together in their intestines,
intestines,
and
yeah.
fuck them up.
Yeah.
So they had to stop making them.
Yeah.
but man, did I have a good 2 years.
There's same problem with
There, that's not that like there's like been like 5 magnetic toy things that exact reason
right.
because those weren't. I remember hearing that about one magnetic toy
Yeah.
and it wasn't those.
It wasn't
was-
those
It
specifically.
was some other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one year for Christmas, somebody gave me. There were these. You built a cybernetic looking animal. The one I got was like an alligator in the center, and the body of it had like a gear turn thing where you could wind it up and it would like crawl. But it was like cybernetic. I remember it was like gold and stuff. I never could find what they were called, but because that was the only one I ever got. But I remember like you had to like put the pieces together and snap on all the pieces and everything. So that was one that I remember when I was fairly young. I was probably about 10 or 12. Got that thing.
One kind of like branch of Lego, Bionicle.
Yeah.
That comes later after the license. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just remember like it being like the edgy side of Lego and just, like real cool like robots with
Right.
swords and shit.
What about you, Jay? Do you have any memories of construction toys?
I remember with my which one was it? Shit, I was able to build a dinosaur that had a battery powered motor in it, and it moved for like a foot, and then it stopped, and I was like, "That's the coolest thing I've ever done." Erector, that was an erector
set,
yeah.
That was an
Yeah.
erector set.
They started like putting motorized
Erector
things.
sets were generally like for geared towards older children.
They're like teenagers,
Yeah,
like
preteen, teenager.
teenagers.
Yeah,
I think
'cause
I
when
got- I think I
mine
got my-
was 11 or 12.
Right.
I was about 11 or 12 when I got
You're
erector set.
still like inventive, but like smart enough to try.
Because it was basically like you opened up a Rector set and it was like a fucking like a
It
tool
was a toolbox. Yeah, it just was.
because it was just like it was a foam thing with like different slots and it just here's like 20 of this length of metal flat bar,
Right.
that's gonna make this thing.
Also, equally as confusing was, and this is not a construction toy, but I have to mention it. Radio Shack had these like 60-in-1, 120-in-1 scientific experiment little electronic kits, and basically you had like there was like this big box, this plastic box with a bunch of like different springs and things like that on there, and a shit ton of wires, and they would give you schematics to try and like make a radio. And if you're like 7, you have no fucking clue how any of that works. But yeah, erector sets were cool to look at, but not necessarily, unless you're like an older kid, not necessarily fun to play with.
Yeah.
It wasn't really, it was more like, I was never a kid that liked putting models together.
Yeah.
Because that required like patience and glue.
Yeah, it was very funny. Because the big thing used to be, it was a model car kit or something like that. And to me, that was like the most insane thing. Like, why would you want to do all that? That seems like way too much fucking work.
Then they created Snap Tight, and I did get a couple of those.
Well, and then eventually what came out was like model Gundams.
Yeah.
Like that was the big thing, that because those were, you didn't need glue.
Well, you did in the 90s.
No, the ones that I got were in the 2000s, and
Right. But I'm saying that started in the 90s. They were making Gundam models in the 70s, and up until the 90s, they were still glue models.
yeah.
But yeah, by the time you were doing it, they were Snap Tight
And
models.
like all the it was different color plastic, so you never felt like and it came with stickers, so you didn't really feel like you had to paint them.
Right.
So yeah, I think that, and now like I don't think there's most places if they have like nerd stuff, they're gonna have Gundam models too, because people buy them.
That's also an interesting construction toy, that because I actually watched a video on the history of the Gundam model kits, and they start in like 78 or whatever. And the crazy thing about it is like one of the big like model car kit companies, and still was Rebel. Which they also did model kit versions of Green Army Men. I don't know why. But
if you go to like a hobby store, like Hobby Lobby or something like that, and you look, like they have the weirdest shit in like the models that you can make. Like it's not just cars.
There was a Rebel had a series of like armies from different countries and different time periods. But anyway, Gundam. They had, and these Gundams were not intricate like the ones after 92 or whatever, where you could snap them together. Most of the glue model Gundam kits were like 10 pieces. They looked cool. They were one color. You had to paint them. But as far as putting them together, they weren't as complicated as putting a car together. But they did comparisons. The guy that did the video showed comparisons of like the original like 1979 model kit to like one from the 90s, and then one from like mid 2000s, and then one now or whatever, and you could see the intricacies of how they figured out how to like make it to where you could have like, after you put it together, moving parts. They're you're basically building a really intricate action figure.
That's the ones that I got, I remember, like you could pose them, you could do all kinds of stuff.
They're really cool. They're like there's like layers within layers within layers. I
didn't, when I bought mine, I didn't even like, if I were to go back and look at them, they probably look like shit, but like I didn't even use like clippers or anything. Like I was able to like, you take it out of the box and like you take it home and you need nothing else for it.
Right.
To actually build the model.
Well, no, if you want it to look nice, you want to sand the nubs a little bit.
Sand the nubs, and really and truly, you need to like glue it together and do some little painting and stuff like that.
You can. There's a I might have already mentioned this like on an episode not too long ago, but they have like a annual contest for kit bashing those things in Japan, and they're like really impressive looking.
Oh yeah.
And here's the thing, like y'all do Warhammer minis, and you've seen people do like kit bashing on Warhammer minis in terrain. Like imagine like being good enough to know that you're going to spend $300+ on a model and not fuck it up by doing that. You know, that's got to be some impressive shit.
Well, and it's not just the money; it's the time sink on that.
Right.
Just to talk briefly.
Sure.
So the modeling and painting competition for Games Workshop every
Yeah.
year is Golden Demon.
Yeah.
The winner gets a sword called not King Slayer,
Slayer
but
sword.
Slayer sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is bigger than the person that gets handed it. Like it's a
Yeah.
huge sword. And people who participate in that competition regularly, they will finish their model. They'll go to Golden Demon,
Yeah.
and then the day after Golden Demon is done, they're starting the work on their next submission for next year.
Right.
Yeah.
It is an incredible time sink.
Right.
It is, to me, the truest definition of the word hobby.
Yes.
In the fact that you invest a lot of time and the worth that you get out of it is very personal. It's subjective. Like
Yeah.
someone else looking at that would go, "This is absolutely crazy. What do you
Right.
think?" And then someone else would be like, "This is exactly the way I want my life to be lived." Like, so one of the things about all these things is the notion of creativity and the hobby of creating.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Lego to me is a perfect jumping off point
Yeah.
for all of these. Like,
Well, yeah.
what do you like creating in Lego? If you want to push further into this hobby, you have multiple routes you go down to. Like, do you like building the Lego Technic cars? Or maybe you like, really going more so with like, actual model cars.
Sure.
Both in wood form, but also maybe in metal form.
Right.
Like do those die cast
Right.
and things like that. Do you prefer like vehicles more train wise, and you start actually getting to model trains, which,
Yeah.
although not talked about, is still very prevalent in the
Right.
hobby society,
Oh, yeah.
like throughout
Sure.
throughout the world.
There's not 6 different gauges anymore, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which honestly, thank
yeah.
God,
Yeah.
God for the people in that hobby,
Yeah.
because now you can kind of
Right.
have a codified, standardized way, and so
Right,
you're all
for
dealing
sure.
in the same thing. Do you prefer actually having figures that look more human-like?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's where you start getting into the proper arts. Like, do you get into sculpting? Do you get into
Mm-hmm. Right.
again, woodworking? There's a lot of stuff that you
Yeah.
can go from there. But to me, Lego is this perfect example of some place where a child's mind can foster this notion of hobby in a way that is for the most part inexpensive. Like as far as like the Lego kits, like here's 600 Lego bricks.
Right.
Here's a green or blue or gray thing
Yeah.
to tam down to do that.
Yeah.
And then if you get older,
Yeah.
Lego is still an option.
Yeah.
Right.
Lego's an absolutely amazing option.
So
Yeah.
real quick, I definitely want to hit this real quick before we go any wider on it. Yeah. So like Lego was kind of like dying off. They were losing money. They were bleeding money, and they acquired the license to make the Phantom Menace toys, the Lego kits for Phantom Menace, and they just acquired the Star Wars license to.
Yeah.
And I think they still have the Star Wars license.
Yeah.
To make whatever they want. And then so when they started acquiring the Star Wars license, they were able to start turning a profit again. Since for like 10 or 15 years they had not been making, they were barely scraping by.
Well, and also there's another point into
Yeah.
this too, because around that same time also there's a change at the top because a Lego 80s to me is the perfect example of if we just make it, they'll buy it, and
Yeah.
eventually that doesn't work,
Right,
and you
yeah.
need to have some sort of change in direction of that.
Yeah.
The top guy from I think he comes on like late 90s, early 2000s. He was actually a fan of Lego. It's not that he was a fan of the money Lego was making. He
Right.
was a fan of Lego.
Yeah.
And so he had this idea of this is what the children and the adults that buy this product, this is what they want.
Yeah.
So let's producing that. And so what's the first thing we do? Let's get a license that's recognizable. Let's get our designers to like hone to make it look like that, and so we can put
Right.
that out to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, the license is a big part of it. It can even be the majority part
Yeah.
of it. But just to have the knowledge and the foresight,
Of course.
Yeah.
and really the intricate, other than just like make blocks, sell blocks, make
Right,
money,
Yeah.
make more blocks.
That and then shortly after the Phantom Menace stuff, like that's when Bionicle started.
Right,
And
so,
Bionicle also
yeah.
really like
With
took
the
off.
with the money and innovation, they were like doing these new ideas. They probably had the ability to be able to make choices like, let's try this.
Yeah.
And they tried Bionicle, and it fucking kickstarted another section where they were like, oh, we can aim these construction kits to like older teens and young adults and things like that.
Well, up until most of the 90s, like there weren't like specialized. Like it was just like, okay, this is some weird. Like I got one that was like a weird alien ship thing that you built, but it wasn't like anything that you would know. It's just here's a weird design that we have, or here's a house, or here's this thing, or here's fire truck stuff, or anything like that. And it wasn't really until the Star Wars license when they really started taking off.
Yeah,
from that.
Star Wars and Bionicle. Bionicle opened up another door, but that door I don't think would be fully open for many, many years later. And that is, something they started like just a few years ago with the Masterpiece sets.
Yeah.
Because they're for certain companies, especially based out of traditional countries, they don't like change a lot. But when they started doing those changes and it started making some,
I would like argue like right now there's three, like Lego does three things now.
Yeah.
They do the sets that are squarely aimed at adults. These are the Masterpiece set,
Right.
anything that having to do, like you could build an Atari 2600
or a Van Gogh painting.
Something that
Van Gogh
seems a little
Yeah.
too complex
Or-
that a
yeah.
child could put
or
together.
even the new with they came out with the fully transformable Optimus Prime.
Yes,
and
right.
now they've come up with a Soundwave one, which I want fucking both of those, but goddamn they're
Right.
expensive.
Yes.
And then there is the licensed stuff, which is a large bulk, because
Yeah.
now they have
Right.
like, they still have Star Wars, they have Marvel, Harry Potter,
They have all the Disney things,
Disney
with the
stuff,
The Tower of Barad-dûr from Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
That one is gorgeous and way more money than I'm willing to spend.
yeah,
but it's still a
And some of them
gorgeous
some of them like crossover, because I would argue like that one is one that is squarely aimed for adults, but it's also licensed. And then there's just like basically everything else. Like they still do like some generalized
model.
sets.
They
do.
do Lego
Yeah.
City, Lego Space.
Yeah.
City was, they came up with City. They were like, oh, we can just do our stuff and then like put our own
This
label.
is just the old stuff.
It's just relabeled and
Lego
they could
Pirates.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
always
Pirates
cool.
and
But the reason why they started doing the master sets is because their sales were dipping down from the other sets that weren't doing very well.
Yeah.
Like the ones that were aimed at the younger kids. Bionicle's still kind of doing stuff, but I mean, Bionicle's also one of those things where, if you grow up building Gundams and they make them more and more complicated, you're going to be interested in them.
Yeah.
And so like their younger audience is slowly deteriorating because kids are younger and younger getting on screens now and less doing the construction kits and things like that and toys they interact with as much. Not saying that it's died off completely, but this is straight out of the mouth of people that have worked at Lego.
Yeah.
And so the master sets are for adults and young adults, and the reason for that is they're starting to do that. And the reason why the price points are so high, even though the pieces are not as many, and as you could buy like a 5,000 count generic set for $50, but these master sets that have like 500 to 1,000 pieces in them that you can make a flower vase out of cost like 100, 125 or more. Because they're basically like stamping like what they think the value of this is, because you're paying for the experience more than you're paying for what, and of course the name recognition and things like that, because they're trying to make money. But it's also a thing where it's been around for so long that you have a built-in audience, so they're trying to also, like, on another side of it, I guess, grow with their audience as well and keep people interacting with
and
their
that's
product.
like the two big things. Like if you go down the Lego aisle at Walmart or Target, it's going to be mostly those sets that are aimed at adults, and then the licensed sets,
Right.
because that is the thing that people that really draw the people who aren't like super like just I'm into Legos in general. I know tons of people who they just I'm gonna put together.
Hi, this is someone who puts Legos together quite regularly.
Right.
It's enjoyable. It's fun to do. Like me and Bianca, we will set specific dates and set in stone for hey, let's get some Legos, let's put on a movie, let's just have a Lego building day.
It's basically replaced like putting like traditional puzzles together.
Yeah.
I may have mentioned this on the show before, but Trey Parker, one of the co-creators of South Park, he gets Lego sets while they're doing their production runs because when they produce their shows weekly, like from start to finish, it takes 7 days to do an episode. And they do and then in the past they've done upwards of like 10 to 12 of them at the time. So you think about working every day for 10 to 12 weeks,
Right.
And you need some sort of deviation from that.
Downtime, yeah.
Lego sets, he use it like I've got to like when I'm making the show, I've got to think about this and timings and all things like this. Lego, you don't have to think about it all. Like literally, it shows you how to put together in the
Right.
manual, and you just go in and you just put it together.
It's very cathartic.
And at the end of it, you have this thing that's complete, and it looks good because you bought it because it looked good, and now you've made it with your own hands.
It gives you a sense of joy to like, this went from like 10 plus bags of 100 count pieces
Right.
into this amazing sculpture that I created.
And
basically.
it also, like, jumping off of what Jay said earlier, it can platform you into other like hobbies that have building in them, like Gundam, or Warhammer.
Warhammer.
You know,
Any
anything
miniatures
where
game,
you're putting stuff together.
Yeah, any miniatures game is a big thing. Although there's usually less. The creativity oftentimes with a lot of those comes from
The painting aspect.
The painting aspect. Although you can't like it there is like you can go further than that and do and start like kit bashing,
dioramas and things like that.
and things like that.
I know people with jewel saws that have cut arms in half,
Right.
just so that they could reposition the arm
Yep.
Yeah.
to make it point in a direction that, while still natural, worked for the model better in their head. Or sometimes it made it look completely unnatural, and that's
Right.
what they were going for.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just it's these expressions. It's these calls to creativity and to be able to actually create them and then do them. I think that's one of the novel things about like all of this. Like you mentioned, like one of the things about TinkerToys that I like so much, like growing up, was the fact, again, it was this something that I made that had this function.
Right.
And it's a very simple function, maybe just be
Right.
something going up and down, or maybe something spinning around.
Right.
But it's something that's set in motion, and like it gives you this feeling of satisfaction of having created something.
And it's
one
also
that,
like
one that we completely forgot that I do remember having Connects.
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 Right.
That was basically like plastic versions of, I think Magnetics might have came from
It very much resembles
But,
it because you had like all these like faceted pieces of plastic that
it
you
was
push into
like
each
little
other.
rods and,
Yeah.
and flat pieces that you would snap.
It was after
into.
my time, but I know what it is.
I had a lot of Connects, and I remember there were like some really. I never got like some of the really big like there was one really cool one that was like a swing ride that you see at an amusement park you could build.
Yeah.
That actually spun around.
Right.
These.
Yeah.
Yeah, those I had a few of. I can't remember what the sets I had were. Yeah, the Ferris wheel was another big one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the set that I had was. It might have been a generic set, but I don't think so. But it might have been like you build like an animal or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But that was a big one. Like I got one Erector set, and I think I played for. I didn't even make it like outside of December, getting
Right.
it for Christmas. Still playing with it.
Yeah.
But Connects I played the shit out of. I do remember
Right.
that.
Right.
one.
Well, I mean, it's like so much easier just to like pull these pieces apart and put them back together.
Oh yeah. Like that like Erector sets. Even at my age, and I was, like I said, I was a little older. I know I was in my preteens. That felt like work.
Yeah.
Like there was.
Right.
It came with a fucking wrench.
Right.
Like that felt like work.
And once you got those screws together and those pieces of metal together, that's it. They were together. You weren't fucking with it anymore after that.
You didn't really express creativity because then you had to deal with like screws and nuts.
But
and bolts
with
and
these
shit.
simpler toys like Connects and Legos, especially the generic sets and things
Yeah.
like that, and Erector, well, maybe not so much Erector, but and TinkerToys and things like that, is that you also have a sense of no matter what you built out of it, you put something into the world that didn't exist before for yourself in your personal universe
Yeah.
of things. You put something together that 30 minutes ago didn't exit, and now you have it at least for a short period of time until you take it apart and put something else
Well, when I
together.
was really young, my biggest memories with Legos were, again, that generic set that just had a whole bunch of stuff, and I could put together little people and stuff like that. and just like putting together things and building things and creating a story out of that
Yeah.
and just playing with
Right.
that and doing that. I didn't like I didn't have very many Lego sets growing up where
Yeah, I didn't
where I
e-
like
I didn't either.
where I like built a thing and was like, here's the thing.
Right.
I had mostly it was that generic set that I could just build shit and just create my own stories. And I had like crazy ass. I don't even remember what the fuck I had. But
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I did like all kinds of stories that months I was engrossed.
You would keep
into this
yourself
thing.
entertained because you would add in like the imagination aspect of after you got these things together. Now you have another toy you can play with it.
Yeah.
You didn't have like a few minutes prior to that.
So like my earliest like memory with like any type of like constructor toys or anything so in the vein of Legos was I was in church and we were having like an auction event for like raising money for the church and whatnot, and they had like 10 sets of Bionicles that they're like just
shit.
released. I got every single one. Begs my grandmother like, please let me have these. I put all of them
Probably made
together.
your grandma dig into her social security check.
I was the happiest
Oh
6-year-old
yeah,
that
I had
could
I had
have.
about I think I ended up with like 3 of the original Bionicles.
I was the happiest
3 or 4.
6-year-old on my street because I had 10 of the brand new Bionicles that had
Yeah.
just released.
And they came in that weird little case thing.
It's like very cylindrical and like very
See, that was
long.
that was after the ones that I had. Mine were it was like a flat like almost box, but it was like rounded in the front.
Yeah, no, mine were like like cylindrical.
Yeah, that newer generation of Bionicles. I got the OG ones. That had a movie to go with them.
I loved
Yeah, I
that
remember
movie.
those.
I loved the movie.
There were
the-
multiple movies now.
Got the
I think
red,
there's,
black,
like-
and brown one, and you could combine them all into one super Bionicle. and it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Also, Lego started getting smart during the GameCube PS2 era because they started making video games.
Oh yeah. The Lego video games are mostly pretty good. Especially the ones that could get like a gigantic roster of people. The Star Wars, the Marvel and the DC ones, I think are the biggest ones.
The Indiana Jones one.
When they did the Indiana, I never played the
I
Indiana
didn't
Jones
either.
one because it was like, what you can only do so much. So there's only so many people that I care to play
Also-
about playing
also,
Indiana Jones.
the earlier
and most
game-
of them are Indiana Jones.
Yeah, the earlier video games for Lego had charm to them. The characters couldn't talk because
Yeah.
they didn't have voiceover on the systems they were on originally, and there was a cute charm to them. They started adding voice acting, and I was off it by then. But anyway, I'm going on a different tangent. What else? What else? Educational building toys. What else we got?
I had more Lego things.
More. I think we're Legoed out at this point. I think we've talked about Lego enough. Lego is going strong right now. They've got master sets. They still have Bionicles.
They have their own stores.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
yeah.
really,
By
they
sales,
have their own amusement park.
Yes.
by sales, they are the #1 toy company in the world.
Yeah. Because they have kind of outlasted pretty much everybody. I don't think that there's really like you can find some stuff, but
Yeah.
there's not really like
Not
much
with that kind of impact.
when
got-
it comes to like
you-
building things.
You got
Yeah.
whoever does the Halo stuff, Mega Blocks. Those
Yeah,
exist.
Mega Blocks. They're getting by on their own with their own licenses.
Would it be weird if like Lego had the license to Mega Man instead of Mega Blocks? Wouldn't that be
but,
that would be a thing, right?
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else who's really
Killing it right now.
who's really got there's not like an Erector set or a Connex or anything like that that's been going. I think Lego has kind of like supplanted all of them.
Like they just have like a death grip on the entire market.
I mean that's probably true. That's
And it doesn't feel like a hateful death grip, though. You know what I mean? Like they're just there. I haven't heard of like anybody like waking like I don't hear like the CEO of Mega Bloks waking up with like Legos for eyes because they drowned him in Legos. Maybe
But
I don't
yeah,
know.
there's I can't remember. anytime that I've walked around like a toy section of a place and seen any like
I
other
think
things.
there's some other offshoots of other things that aren't necessarily construction toys, like 3D puzzles were a thing for a minute.
Yeah, those were a big thing. I
Puzz,
remember.
No, I owned like about 6 or 7 Puzz 3Ds. Those were great.
I
One
had
was
some,
the
like,
Millennium Falcon. It was
Oh,
great.
that's cool. I had a couple of small ones of those. I don't remember. I didn't like those too much.
There
I didn't love
is
them.
one other company that's doing something now. It's not on the scale of Lego, but it's KiwiCo. I don't know if you've heard of KiwiCo.
I haven't heard of them.
KiwiCo is like, you remember where the box of the month subscription services
Like Loot Crate.
Oh yeah.
right, like Loot Crate or whatever. Well, they have one called KiwiCo by a company called KiwiCo, based out of Tasmania, New Zealand, I think originally
Okay, there
is where they started. But Tasmania very close. But anyway, they are like these wooden kits that they're basically like these press kits that you pop these like little sections out, and imagine erector sets, but they're made out of wood. And then you have like all these different like little like small motorized things or whatever, and mainly for kids, usually around like 8 to 12 or whatnot. And it's one of those subscription services though where you can get like just one of them or whatever. You can get whichever one you want instead of having to buy a monthly subscription to them. And I think they're relatively inexpensive. I learned about them through a YouTuber, Mark, whatever, the guy who like invented the anti-theft.
Mark Rober.
Yeah. He had them as a sponsor for a long while because he's like basically an inventor. But they're pretty cool, and they're similar. I think there's similar other things out there that are like KiwiCo that put out these like educational toys, construction toys that are like an on-demand service kind of thing, because it's really the only way you can survive as a new company nowadays.
So it wasn't I don't think it was a brand or anything like this, but I remember one year I got a set that was you can build like it wasn't, calling it a track is too much, but you could build like a thing to run marbles through, where like it was these they were mostly like hollow cylinders that you could like build up with little feet on the bottom that you kind of stuck into each other, and then you had like tracks, and like the marble would go along these little like tracks and like fall down and then go down another one, and then there was like a bowl pot piece of it that they could drop into, and then the one at the bottom would have like a hole in it, so they would just come out the hole at the bottom. I remember playing with that like so much, and being able to like make little mazes for the marbles.
There was a cool thing. Again, this isn't a construction toy here. Like also, before I continue on, here's the KiwiCo programmable wooden music box that you can make. For $20.
Okay, yeah, I have seen those.
Yeah,
those
right.
things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Now there was probably this toy company that made this probably doesn't exist anymore, because I tried to Google that the thing before we recorded this episode. But basically what it was is, and this is like probably early 80s or whatever, where you had a bunch of like long and short pieces of plastic track. And you had these like fitted plastic pieces so you could like put track together, and you could make loops out of them or whatever. And you didn't use Hot Wheels for these. They had special mechanical cars, just like they still make these, by the way, these kind of cars where you like pull them back and they go on their own. Well, these were really cool because you could build whatever kind of thing you wanted to out of these. You can make your own racetracks. You can make your own loop-de-loops, and you'd pull back the car, and it would go through, until it stopped. And it was a really cool thing. But again, I can't really take, because Hot Wheels and Mattel like killed all those off.
Oh yeah.
If
you're not Hot Wheels or Matchbox, like you.
which that's owned by the same company.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one. I think Hot Wheels owns Matchbox.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure that's the case on that one. And still make both of those separately, which is wild to me. I don't know how they turn a profit because those cars are still only like $1.50.
I never, because they make them for like 10 cents.
Right.
Yeah. I never got to get like motorized track for like Hot Wheels.
Oh no. No, definitely
that
not.
was I remember getting some kind of track for something, but it wasn't. I think I got it at like a Hudson's or something. But yeah, that was something that was always. But
That's
what
a
was
rich
always
kid's
cool.
toy.
Yeah, that was the rich kid's toy with a
No,
little.
that's cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Remember that commercial?
Matchbox is owned by Mattel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Cliffhangers was, I know this is off tangent, but Cliffhangers was like a racetrack. It wasn't Hot Wheels or Mattel or whatever. It was a motorized racetrack where parts of the racetrack like had it to where you could put it against the wall and they would go up the wall. Not only that, but these motherfuckers would glow in the dark. So that was also a rich kid's toy. You're talking like $100.
Yeah.
Which, you know, in 80s money is like $1,000, which is why the USS flag is $1,000 because it's still the same price as it was in 1980.
Yeah.
85 or 86 when it came out or whatever. Anyway, off tangent. Sorry. Speaking of construction toys, if you got a big enough G.I. Joe set, you had to put that shit together.
Oh yeah. The big ones.
Also, less on the fun and inventive side though, more on the having to put a model car together kind of side, even though it's snap fit. I think that's about it, guys. Really, unless anybody has any final thoughts on it.
I think we're good. I think that
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say really.
I-
I do think like it is interesting how you can see like the progression and how these these kind of building toys when you're younger can kind of grow into other more complicated things, like your different kinds of models, be it car models or Gundam models or models that go with some kind of miniatures game or something like that. How that can kind of grow.
Does it surprise you Lego has never had a dedicated minis game? Your terrain is built. You can build your own terrain with Lego blocks. You have the little figures.
Yeah,
they're spaced out enough to where you could like, okay, if you're this many spaces away, like you could do rules for attacks and things like that.
A couple. Was it official? I'm trying to think. There was a game that came out not very long ago that used Legos, and I cannot remember if it was official or not.
It could have been that they
but
watched.
It didn't go anywhere.
That they watched Hasbro make Heroescape and fail. Although that product is back for some reason.
Yeah.
Heroescape is back. In case you're interested in that.
Heroescape made money. It did. It did.
For a while.
Heroescape made money, and then they got the licensing, and then it stopped making money.
Yeah.
And then they went away, and then Magic the Gathering had it for like 50 seconds.
Yeah.
And now Heroescape is
Well,
back.
Yeah.
Then what they tried to do is re-release Heroescape on their like crowdfunding site that that Hasbro does. Figure that one out, and it didn't it didn't meet the goal that they wanted to. So they're like, we're not going to do it. And then Renegade Games finally was able to get the license and make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Heroescape is a good. But that one was
The battle for all
That
time.
one was that one's more about the terrain is what you're building there. But it's a good game. It's a fun game. I've always had fun playing it. It's a very simple game, but it's fun.
I mean, it's just tangential.
You had it right with tangential.
Okay.
Yeah.
To what Jay was saying about a Lego minis game. That's as close as
I'll have to do research on that.
Yeah.
I remember
they don't have to do anything for production.
Right,
It's
yeah.
already produced.
they just got to come up with the rules for it.
Yeah. I want to say that was going to be a thing or was a thing, and it got abandoned for some reason. I don't know. I feel I don't know what's up with that.
You could definitely do it.
Yeah.
You could definitely do it.
There might be a like fan made thing.
Oh, yeah, for
Lego
sure.
Oh, there's
stuff.
probably like 8 billion fan made things. It just weirds me out because all of the stuff is there.
technically, there have been Lego games with adjustable dice because you pop a face out and you put another face in, things like that. That could be a mechanic for it,
Right.
It
You have built-in measuring peg per peg.
Yeah.
So
You don't have to get a tape measure. You don't even have to know. You don't even know the difference between inches and millimeters. You just go.
How many levels of terrain? I don't know. This Lego is four levels high.
This many.
Yeah.
That's your levels of terrain.
Yeah, there you go.
There is something called Brick Wars.
Oh, I think I remember hearing about that.
Is this a Lego thing?
It's not an official Lego.
Okay.
I remember hearing about Brick Wars.
But it was a wargaming system that was that uses.
Yeah.
Legos
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff like
All
that.
right. Well, on that note,
there you go.
thank you for listening to.
It was actually there was a physical release by Modifius in 2023.
Oh,
That
okay.
might be exactly what I'm thinking of.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
We would like to take this time to thank our lovely non-sponsored sponsored McNorb Gaming for your gaming needs. They don't have Legos, but they have other things you could buy to put together, such as, I don't know, there's some terrain left, I think. Not much.
Not much model wise.
Not much model-wise, but hey, they do have a lot of paint still.
They have unpainted miniatures if painting
There's
is your
plenty of
thing.
unpainted miniatures and painted miniatures if you're into that.
You can ask them to order you a copy of Moon Colony Bloodbath.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I was going to talk about.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Moon Colony Bloodbath, it's a tableau builder and a tableau destroyer because you build up your moon colony, but as you're building it up, more and more terrible events start happening, which destroys everyone's moon colony. The first person to lose all their people loses, and that's where the game ends. And then the person with the most people left in their moon colony wins.
You will not find that game in McNard Gaming, but
You can't
ask them to
order it.
order it.
you
'cause
can
they did
order
for
it.
me.
You can also order it directly yourself. We're located in lovely Goshen, Mississippi.
That if there was a way to make that the worst plug ever, you just did it. It's but order it from your friendly local game store,
Yeah, sure.
or go to Amazon.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Whatever floats your boat.
No, just go only to McNarb Gaming.
Go only to McNarb Gaming to order
now delivering
everything.
to Tasmania.
Yeah.
Free shipping to Tasmania.
Only Tasmania.
Tasmania.
For travelers on the omnibus, I've been Jody Kite.
Do we know what we're doing next?
No, we
Been
don't.
Ethan Skinner.
Okay.
I thought it was the Aussie
we
thing.
had it written down.
Oh, are we doing
at some
Aussie?
point.
Oh, yeah,
Are
Aussie.
we still?
I guess.
Didn't we just move things down? Since
I guess.
we didn't even mention that we weren't here last week. That's
No,
what we
we
have.
were hoping people
that's okay.
forgot.
That's what we had decided before we took a week off.
I forgot because it's
We're doing
been
something.
longer than a week.
You know why you forgot?
But I hated Pet Rocks and E.T. You know who else hated E.T.? Fundamentalists. They thought he was satanic.
They
Not
think,
because of the finger either.
they think most things are satanic, though.
Especially in the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what we talked about was
And
doing
then the fundamentalists found
doing
out
kinda
about
talking-
the finger.
I think
talking about Ozzy in
all the things.
in
Ozzy
different
and things.
non-music
Non-musical
that
things.
he's
Okay.
done because it's been a lot. Because it's actually been a
Yeah.
lot.
Well,
when you
stay
look
tuned
at-
to next week when we'll talk about Ozzy and non-musical capacities.
And
We'll
we
talk
can-
about music
and we
as
can
well,
still
but
get
we'll-
an hour out of it.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
sure we can get longer than that out of it. For Travelers on the Omnibus, again, I am Jody Kite.
Again, I am Ethan Skinner.
I am, for the first time since the opening, James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
We'll keep the light off for you.
Yeah, because that's electricity.
Good luck seeing.
Yeah.
Good luck,
Good luck seeing.
seeing.
No, we said we're gonna keep the lights
Said
off for
Ethan
them,
to
so.
the blind.
to the listeners who can't see us.
Ethan, find a blind person and say, "You can't see me. You can't see me," and then just run away. What are they going to do? They can't see you.
They can't see me.
All you gotta do is
Exactly.
say, "Ha ha! I'm John Cena."
You know what's going to be funny? The karma, they will find you.
They're selling translucent John Cena
somewhere-
figures now.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
will be
about right.
found.
Yeah. They should just sell John Cena figures. Just there's nothing in the you take out
Just empty
You have to keep
packaging.
those. You have to
Empty
keep
packaging.
it's a Todd McFarlane special from Todd McFarlane Toys, and so you never open it anyway. So what's the difference?
You know why you can't open Todd McFarlane toys? Because they fall apart when air touches them.
I have a good bit of Todd McFarlane toys that don't do that.
They had to work really hard to get there.
They were sprayed down with lacquers.